If you know the scheme in The Wolf of Wall Street, this next story may sound familiar. CBC News has been investigating a former Calgary businessman recently indicted in the U.S. as part of a massive stock fraud worth more than $500 million. And now he's being investigated in Canada, too. Senior investigative correspondent Diana Swain shows you what we've discovered about Jim Can.
Hello.
He is the one in the yellow T-shirt. Friends tell CBC News this was Jim Can in Belize last year when times were good. That's before U.S. authorities swept into his and other offices last month and apparently left no scrap of paper behind, seizing evidence they claim that Can and several others were involved in laundering hundreds of millions of dollars for wealthy American and Canadian clients. But we've learned Can may have exaggerated more than the value of the stocks he pitched to win over new investors. This online corporate bio of Can claims he has an MBA from a prestigious school in Frankfurt, Germany. We called. They have no record of him ever graduating. And CBC News has learned at least 2 Canadians who bought into this company, Blue Forest, have now told the Alberta Securities Commission that Can duped them into investing thousands of dollars through what's called a pump and dump stock scheme.
I put him in touch with a couple of people, and he approached a lot of them, and he took them for a lot of money.
They allege Can promoted the stock with exaggerated claims, pumping up the price, and that he dumped his shares and took his money before the share price dropped. It's the very method made famous by Hollywood in The Wolf of Wall Street.
We were making more money than we knew what to do with.
Those who spoke to us about Jim Can would only do so if we concealed their identity. They claim they're afraid of him, and they may have good reason. In Calgary in 2003, Can was charged with extortion and forcible confinement, accused of helping 2 Hells Angels associates terrorize a man who they said owed them money after a stock deal he'd done with Can went sour. The man later told police Can was at this warehouse feeding his captors information about the man's family, and that the bikers threatened they would kill his wife and kids right in front of him if he didn't cough up $1 million. But the case later fell apart because of questions about the alleged victim's credibility. Can admits to being there, but says he wasn't involved and sued Calgary police for false arrest. But in this decision, a judge disagreed and said police had reasonable and probable grounds to arrest him. Can has appealed that ruling.
He's a big fish.
George Sharp bills himself as a kind of pump-and-dump spy, intentionally buying into companies to expose stock promoters like Jim Can, which is why he bought into Blue Forest.
The targets of these schemes are people who are looking to get rich quick. You're talking about seniors, students, single mothers.
Can is suing Sharp in the U.S. for smearing his name. In an email to CBC News today, Can indicated the allegations are false, but he didn't provide specifics, and through his lawyer, he declined to answer our questions. Meantime, trading in Blue Forest has been suspended. Diana Swain, CBC News, Toronto.